tells face saving formula. Tenali Raman to not show his face. Raman was waiting for an opportunity to win over the king. One morning, Raman was surprised to see a tall, fat man being carried on a chair by four short and stout men. The procession was heading to the palace. This must be the Pahlwan from the north, thought Raman, who had heard people talking about a strong man from the north. The Pahlwan from the north called on King Krishnadev Raya. I am going around the world to see if I can meet a man stronger than me. I challenge the Pahlwans of Vijayanagar to wrestle with me. The king fixed a day for the event and asked his Pahlwans to get ready to face the challenger from the north. The Pahlwans took one look at the man and their hearts sank. He is so huge. I don't think any one of us can grapple with him, said one Pahlwan. In his hands, we will be like chickens, said another. The minister informed the king that the local Pahlwans were reluctant to take up the challenge thrown at them by the man from the north. Is there no one can save the honor of Vijayanagara? Exclaimed the king. One man was ready to save the honor of Vijayanagar. That was Raman. But the king had ordered him not to show his face. You can still help the king, said Raman's wife. The next day, King Krishnadev Raya was surprised to see a visitor whose face was covered with a black spot. Who are you? What's this nonsense? Shouted the king in anger. The man replied, Maharaj, it's me, Raman. Had I not warned you to not show your face again? Yelled the king. Maharaj, I am not showing my face to you. I have covered it. All right. What brought you to the court? The king asked. The king couldn't help but laugh. I want to take on this Pahlwan from the north, Maharaj, said Raman. The king was delighted to hear this. He ordered all the Pahlwans of the kingdom to report to Raman. On the following day, the Pahlwans of Vijayanagar carried Raman on a chair to the arena, where the Pahlwan from the north was waiting. On this arrival, the king signaled that the contest could begin. Tenali Raman stepped forward. Maharaj, I challenge my opponent to do with eyes open. What can I do with my eyes closed? Said Raman. The Pahlwan from the north thought that it was child's play to do anything with eyes open, that an opponent could do with his eyes closed. He nodded his head. A chair was brought for Raman, where he sat. He closed his eyes and signaled his assistant. The assistant brought a bucket full of sand and splashed it on Raman's face. Then Raman wiped his face with a towel and opened his eyes. He bowed to the Pahlwan from the north and said, Your turn. The challenger was well shocked. An attendant brought another bucketful of sand and took position. The Pahlwan trembled at the thought of all the sand that would get into his eyes if he were to keep his eyes open. When the sand was thrown at his face, The very thought scared him. I concede defeat, Maharaj, he said quickly and bowed to Raman. The king gave Raman a handsome reward. The assembled people waved their hands and clapped. The Pahlwans of Vijayanagara hoisted Raman on their shoulders and carried him in a procession of his house.